Shalom and good day, all. This is Healing29 back again for another Solicitation Station episode, finally 22, which it's been a while, and we are finally covering night terrors. And of course, we know that in this time period to which things have been happening, when this video goes up, night terrors has been getting its reviews, especially around the first month and slowly moving into the second. So let's get things prepared for the first one that I'll be covering on for this DC Connect. But in Australia's case, we're run by terrorists, but that's another story. Alright, so moving into the first cover, and we get to have a bit of a look as to what this cover is showing us here in regards to night terrors, and we can see the character of Deadman. And my thoughts with this is, like, since the death of Denny O'Neil and also Neil Adams, I think Joshua Williamson here is actually trying to do a bit of a love letter to sort of like Neil Adams' character of Deadman with this particular run. The thing is, how well can the story be executed? That's where it comes to. How well can he execute this story to make it somewhat enjoyable? And this is where, with myself, I have personally chosen to only take certain tie-ins in the story, but not all tie-ins in the story. So we move into the first page and we get to see some of the pages that are here. I do like some of the variants that have been shown for this, but not all of them. We move into the first one that sort of starts it all, and that is the First Blood. We get to have a bit of a look at issue 1 and issue 2 tonight, Terrors, and also seeing Deadman's involvement. Now, the main Night Terrors one on my list, along with the Batman, the Detective Comics, definitely not the Nightwing. We have, of course, Robin on the list, on my list, but definitely not any of the others that are there. And of course, the Superman and Action Comics, and last but not least, the Shazam one. Of course, we get to have a look at the Shazam one, and maybe even pick up the Night Terrors of Green Lantern by Jeremy Adams, to which I'll probably consider picking up the week after I've gotten the Batman one. We move into others not really of interest, and eventually moving into the beginning of the Hawkgirl series by an activist. Something a little bit better. It is Mark Waid, but you got to understand that he's trying to make it work for present time, but still keeping the old-fashioned, important, original Teen Titans storytelling. And I must admit, I didn't mind the story. I understand some people didn't like it that much, but I didn't mind it. We have the Tales of the Titans, not in my list. Adventures of John Kent, still in my list until the last issue. Superboy, Man of Tomorrow, been pretty much enjoying that series so far. It's not perfect, but it is fun to read through. Still Works and Brave and the Bold, not in my list. Spirit World and City Boy, still in my list. Batman Neo Gothic, not in my list, but definitely nice art. Yeah, I'm over Harley Quinn. Someone make her a villain again. Mark Waid, Last Days of Lex Luthor. I must admit, I've not got it in my list, but I might wait for it to come to trade. We move into some Batman and Generation Joker. Only one of those things is in my list. Or Sandman and Generation Joker. Peacemaker, not in my list. Deadly Duo Deluxe Edition, not in my list. the good old collected editions. One thing that will be in my list here will be the manga related content, such as the Joker one, the Superman Meshi, and also the Batman one. So no doubt they will be in the list. And of course, we can't forget the Wayne Family Adventures, definitely in my list. Highly waiting for the World's Finest stuff to come out in softcover, then it will be in my list. More young adult Elseworld storytelling, this time about Diana. I'm surprised that they didn't make her pudgy. Another Elseworld story, young adult, about Superman. Moving into the other titles here, about the only thing that's sort of in my list here is the Adventures Continues, The World's Finest, and that's about all. In this list of things, not really a lot. Moving into the collected editions, there's the Night Watch, which is definitely worth the pickup. I really enjoyed that. Apart from that, and also the audio adventures, definitely worth the pickup. Sorry, not interested in I Am Fake Man, Jace Fox. But the only other thing there that might be of interest to pick up there would probably be the Nightwing stuff by terrible one-trick pony Tom Taylor. Moving into the next thing, we have the Robin and Batman, definitely adding to my list. That Spy versus Spy omnibus definitely grabs my interest. Also, the Superman Kal-El returns. And they're about the main things I'd probably want to add to my list. Oh, yes, and the Batman Adventures omnibus. Maybe that too. And that takes care of that for issue 36. Now it's time to move on to 37. So with Joshua Williamson still at the helm for the Night Terrors, let's see how things go for these lots of solicitations. Of course, we get a bit of a look with some of the covers and also what's to be expected this month. We move into Night Terrors 3 and 4. Maybe only very few covers that I might want to grab. And finally, good riddance. We get to see the end of the series with the Night Terrors Night's End. Woohoo! And of course, collecting my usual ones from the list. So the Night Terrors Batman, Detective Comics. Not the other two, the Nightwing or the Poison Ivy. Again, about the only one from this list is the Robin one. Of course, for this, getting the Night Terrors Superman and Action Comics. About the Titans and maybe the Green Lantern. Not interested in the others. None of these grab my interest. Finally moving into the Penguin. Not really of interest at all. Of course, getting the Superman and Action Comics related things. Not completely interested in the Hawk Girl, but the only things that do grab my interest here are the World's Finest and World's Finest Teen Titans, and also World's Finest Batman Superman. Last but not least, the Adventures of John Kent, which there's only one cover in there that I'll be grabbing with the main cover. And of course, we have the Superboy Man of Tomorrow, which again, I must state, it is written way better than what you're reading in the Tom Taylor run. Only ones of these in my list are the Spirit World and the City Boy. I think I did pick up add the swimsuit edition just to check out. Moving into some Batman Beyond and Harley Quinn. Again, not in my list. Moving into the things of the Spotlight. Riddler, Batman, Peacemaker, none of these are in my list. Slowly moving into some collected editions. The Ghostmaker Clown Hunter, maybe another time. Deceased and Sergeant Rock, not in my list. About the only one in my list here is the terribly written Tim Drake Robin by Megan Fitzmartin, who should not be working at DC in any way, shape or form. Send her back to doing indie comics and only keep her indie comics. We get some webtoon related stuff, Zatanna and the Ripper, We get the Dead Boy Detectives omnibus, which I have added to my list. It'll be really nice to actually read the whole thing in relation to the Dead Boy Detectives, because I quite enjoy their characters. Almost looks to be a bit of a YA Elseworld graphic novel on the character of Static. And I must admit, why does Virgil look so feminine in the face? I'm sure I'm not the only one who picked that up. Moving into more of the comic book runs, to which there's not really much there that's in the list at all. Well, except maybe the Batman Adventures. Slowly moving into the last of the collected editions, we get to see the Batgirls, Batman Nightfall Omnibus, One Dark Night, and Batgirl Year One. Some of those omnibuses would definitely be worth to pick up. Looking through this list, not very much. Maybe even the Golden Age Wonder Woman might be worth to pick up. And that finishes this for today, as we covered the night terrors. But in Australia, we already have terrorists over our lives, and it's called our government. And yes, I still remain anti-government. That is my choice. That is my position. We should be able to rule our lives without tyranny over us, but that's neither here or there. Let's still enjoy wonderful entertainment mediums like comics, because with comics, they can either open the world to imagination or sometimes even close it and open new doors. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day. And a big thanks to everyone who's subscribed to the channel, as we're on the slow road up to 350 subscribers. Hopefully, we might be able to make it 400 towards the end of the year. We'll see what happens. And of course, terrorists in Australia, clean your own houses instead of cleaning everyone else's. Until then, let's keep it colourful.